All right, so very happy Friday to everyone. I hope you guys have a good weekend coming up. And I hope you guys have had a good week. So that would be good news. And I'd love to hear, how did everybody do this week? I have to say that this it was kind of raining good setups. So we had, we kind of watched our Euro Swiss pending order and did that stuff, but it seemed like most of the good setups were happening overnight, and so I just sent out UK notes on setups and let everyone kind of get in there and take some trades and take their own, stuff with the recommendations that I provided. It was a good week. It was a good week. I made some good money this week. Always happy to do that. How did you guys do this week? Anyone find any good trades to get into? I sent out just countless recommendations, and following those recommendations was a good thing this week. Now, let me just clarify a little bit. The difference from an official pending order and a trade recommendation is only this. Number one, an official pending order is one of those this is so good we don't need to watch it kind of a thing. So here you go, and put it on and let's get into it and go for it. The recommendations, like the notes and charts and videos that are posted multiple times every day, are these are great too. They might require a little more watching. They might need a little more babysitting, but they're all trades that I'm recommending, that I'm trying to get into as many of as myself. So even though we only have sometimes a few official pending orders, there's so much material coming out that is actual tradable setups. If you go to, remember, this is emailed to you every day. It's posted in Telegram. It's posted in your email inbox. I don't know how many more places I could send it, but these are the details that I post every day. Remember, this is DayTraders FX alerts. DayTraders FX alerts. And these are all trade recommendations that I post every day: video, notes, charts, everything. This is all super good stuff, and I want to make sure you guys are getting into everything here, because these are great, great charts, great trades, great everything. So hopefully these are working out well for you guys. We had a nice Euro New Zealand this week. This thing kind of really made a push higher and then just started coming down. What was our high that we saw in that Euro New Zealand? It got all the way up there to about 167.60, and we were starting to watch some stuff up here just above 16700. And it just played out like crazy, and you can see the effect of that has been pretty massive. There were updates about the Euro New Zealand all along the way, specifically these couple of charts right here, to watch these channels, watch these patterns, trade down to these specific levels. We saw this get up to the top of this channel right here, get into kind of that 167.50-ish, 60-70 area, break down to 166.70 and so on. Those were charts and setups that I was looking for. 15-minute chart, 537 bars. And this thing just went for it. It made a fantastic run. This was ultimately the chart we were looking for, and it ran for a chunk of pips. Euro New Zealand so far is 213 pips from the breakout area. So 200, little over 200 pips. I know several people got into this trade. It was a really good one. I made some money on it. I didn't make 213 pips on it, but I made a good chunk on this move down to the bottom of the channel, which was a really nice little trade. How'd you guys do? Did anyone get into this Euro New Zealand? How did that one work out? Dennis, plus 200 for the week. There is 100% nothing wrong with that. That's a great week. Good work, Dennis. Very good work. Good, good, good. Mike missed that one. That's all right. That's all right. Good. But I want to make sure you guys are, you know, the most important thing to do is pay attention to these setups and take them. Take them. Just take the darn things. Put the trades on. Remember, if some of these things come out in the evening and you can't stay up and watch it, maybe put a smaller trade on. That's what I do sometimes. I'll just put a smaller trade on if I really like the setup and it's something that's setting up overnight through the UK session, and I don't feel like getting up and pulling an all-nighter. Then put a smaller trade size on. Especially for these volatile ones, these are good ones to put some smaller trade sizes on. But yeah, big nice move on Euro New Zealand. Really really nice setup there. And again, listed in the chat here. So just because you don't hear the sound in the website and get the official email saying get in exactly here, this is, I can't be too much more clear about how to trade this setup and what to target and what to look for. So I hope you guys were able to get some money on that thing. It was a really nice little push. Watch the videos every day. The videos are, sometimes I ramble on and they're 13 minutes long, and sometimes I cut it short and they're 11 minutes long. But they're all kind of about 15, 10 to 14 minutes, something along those lines. There you go, Mike. Can't go any smaller than a micro, huh? So make sure you're watching these videos every day and look at these charts every day, because these are setups we do not want to miss out on. Euro New Zealand was fantastic. The pound setups all worked out great. We had a massive, probably the biggest update of everything was the day that I think 2 or 3 days ago. I'll go look at those in just a second, but we had some really really good big trades that played out nicely. So Euro New Zealand, one of them. Pound Swiss. Pound Swiss was very interesting and very crazy. But navigating this move and navigating this setup was we killed it. So we were looking at this area on Pound New Zealand, Pound Swiss, looking for a reaction of 12900. What's going to happen at 12900? It had already hit 12900 3 times, and I was still saying, let's look for reaction. This is either going to bounce and head down or break and push higher. And we ended up getting a very nice couple of moves on that one. So you can see there was multiple reactions there. And then on that last run there, after the notes, it made a nice push down for 115 or so pips right off that level. And then it came back up and it broke above the level. So, easy to kind of navigate through these trades. Just follow these recommendations and get in on some of that. The latest recommendation was this one, obviously, right here, looking for a bull flag. I wanted to see if we could get that down into the daily pivot before running higher, which apparently it didn't want to do. It just wanted to run higher. And so made a little break here for 29.50, ran up to 130 and just failed right off that. Quick little 50 pips, and it's coming back down again. But watch these recommendations. Make sure you're keeping an eye on these. It was a profitable week. Again, pound yen. What were we looking for the pound yen to do? Make a little consolidation right here, right? And a break and a run up into 149. This was sitting at 148, and we were looking for a break and a move into 149. What did the pound yen do this week? It consolidated. That was back here. Consolidated, made a break, ran up into 149, hit it. And I made 100 pips on the pound yen, 110 pips. Great little push. Now, what was our level? It was 149. Watch 149. Look for some reaction there. And it's just consolidated right at 149. So we've got another good chance. And we're absolutely going to be watching this in the coming week and looking for, these moves lower. I'm still absolutely looking to target 146 on pound yen and 144 on pound yen. I think those are going to be some great lower targets that I want to trade down into, and they have proven to be, good levels that the market's going to keep an eye on. If we do see a push higher, great, we'll watch for a push higher. But I'm still watching those lower levels. And the same with the pound Swiss. Even though the pound Swiss is heading higher, I'm still absolutely watching 126 as kind of the bigger target. So definitely. Oh yeah, what is trading do you have for us? I think we probably have the charts in Malay or something. Oh, there we go. So make sure you're watching these good setups, guys. We definitely had some goodies here. Anyone get into the New Zealand yen? I'll be honest. I put this recommendation out and I was watching it, and then this one I just didn't get into. I did not get into, but I was, we were on the right track with this New Zealand yen for sure. This was definitely, definitely a setup that we were watching, and it made a very nice breakout and move to the upside, and it's still trying to get to that weekly pivot. Anyone get the New Zealand yen? Anyone get a trade on that? I thought I heard people in the chat talking about it a little bit, but the New Zealand yen was a pretty good little mover, but yeah, I just didn't get into it. I just kind of missed that one. But just again, a good mover, good mover. All these trades have played out nicely for us. Our pound yen, pound Swiss. I just kept pounding on those and saying, let's get into these guys, let's trade these. And I did, and I made some good money. And I know some others were into some of these trades as well. And we made some good cash on these moves and on these setups. So everything worked well. We closed our Euro Swiss for some profits. There's that Euro New Zealand, which was a beautiful trade. What about this? Was the day of the big update, right? This was Wednesday, um, and this is where I talked about the massive update. Um, that massive update consisted of talking about some pretty good long-term, bigger directions, bigger trades. Look at the Euro Aussie channel breaking out. Where are our lower targets? 150.60, 149.65. So about 100 pips apart, but well over 100 pips below, nearly 150 pips below current market price at the time that was posted. How did the Euro Aussie end up playing out this week? Please tell me that some of you guys got into this Euro Aussie. Because look at that thing. So, comparison chart. By the way, the whole purpose of this isn't to just compare charts and show which ones I was right and wrong on, but kind of wrap up the week and make sure that you guys are on board for what is happening in these trade recommendations. So there's our Euro Aussie 151.90 with those identified lower targets. I haven't changed anything on this chart. And here it is sitting at 150.54. First target hit. I'm still looking for this lower target, by the way. There's another 100 pips to go or 90 pips to go on this one before I'm done with it. I'm in this. I have trades on the Euro Aussie. I'm in up here. I'm in here where I recommended. I threw a really early little tiny trade on just to kind of watch that thing. But when I posted the chart, I put another trade on right where I was saying let's trade the heck out of this thing, and that was a nice little run. So a good 150 pips of just straight down movement on that pair, which is super excellent. Good, Mike. Made 70 pips on Euro Aussie. I love that. Love that. What a nice little run, and what a nice way to kind of go into the weekend there. Dennis got some Euro Aussie. Good, you guys. I love to hear it. I love to hear it. So, what are we looking for in Euro Aussie ultimately? If we look at the long term picture, I'm curious. Euro Aussie had this big failure at this double top, right? And it's coming off. That double top happened at about 152.25. And here we are down nearly 200 pips from that high. I'm watching, of course, I'm looking at this 150, 149.65, kind of zone. 150, of course, will be big. That's another 55. 54.7 pips. But 150 is going to be a level to watch. But if we can get below that, this is a pretty serious trend line that's been worked on for quite a while. If we start making some pushes below this, I would love to see some Euro Aussie business down here. And so, of course, we're going to be talking about looking at how to make that happen. But I want to. That's what I want to see happen. I want to see this kind of thing go on right there. So that's Euro Aussie for the long term. Short term, we want to kind of try to look for any opportunities. It's getting down into this, kind of choppy, messy territory. So if you're still holding on to it, or you're looking to trade it, that's going to be a little yucky in there. So what we want to look for to kind of trade this thing is some really clean little setups. Don't be too surprised to see this thing pull back a bit and kind of retest. You can see some consistent levels kind of poking through here, right? And so if we see this Euro Aussie retrace a bit, I won't be surprised at all. I'm going to be looking for potentially a little bit of a pullback up a little bit above 150, 100, and then hopefully that's going to be able to hold and we can kind of complete our movement down towards that 150 area. So, so that's all we have to look for. No problem there. No reason to panic. But a little bit of pullback into that 151 and change, and then a continuation down is probably what I'm going to be looking for. And so I'll keep you guys advised on that going into this coming week. But I think that's going to be a nice little area. Yeah, get 50, 60, 70 pips of pullback, and then just trade this puppy right back down for another 100 to 150 pip run. And you never know; it might not give us pullback. This is not a place to get in if you're not in the Euro Aussie. It just hit our target, our first target, and I think I feel pretty confident about it hitting the second target. But this is not a place to get in. This up here is a place to get in. That's a place to get in. Even here is a place to get in. Not here. So if you're not in it, don't try to get in it right now. Remember the principle of the ideal setup. If you can look back within the last 12 hours or so and see an area that you should have got in, but you're trying to get in now is probably not a good time. So we can at least look back here and say there was a bit of a double bottom, a little bit of consolidation, and it broke through. But now this thing's pushing lower, and let's not try to chase it. I'm still holding on to all my positions, and I'm just kind of letting it play out. But I'm not going to add anything new down here, so that's what I'm trying to kind of just remind everybody of. So don't add anything new yet, but watch for 15100 ish, and then let's take a push for 150. So that was some good stuff that worked out gloriously. Let's see, and again, we have a nice follow up trade in the works as well. Euro Aussie, Euro Swiss. We made some decent money on Euro Swiss. It was good for we closed our trade here for 68 pips. I would have liked to make a little bit more. It was only a few hours later that it made it to our profit target, by the way. So, we had sat in it for a couple of days, and I said, man, I think I want to get out of this thing and just be done with it. So we got out at about 115, 20 in the 20s there, and then it ran all the way up. Our profit target was 115.55, 50 or 55, and so it ran up and tapped it, went up through just by 10 pips, and then has started to work its way down. So that was a good trade this week as well. And then what I'm looking for to kind of continue on the week is this business. Okay, there we go. Is this business right here? I want to get this guy back to outside of this rising wedge. So this is a rising wedge that is probably going to be a massive mover. Targets for me, here's our first support level, about 112.75, and then I want to get this thing back down into about 11100 and about 111.75. Where are we currently? 115.30. There's a lot of pips. You might think that's a big move for the Euro Swiss. Well, it is until this kind of stuff happens right here, which does, and we get these couple hundred pip movements. Euro Swiss has really kind of gone bananas lately and is moving much more than it used to. So that's Euro Swiss, but it is it's playing out. It's doing a good job. So there you have it. So that's our long-term push. That's what we want to kind of get our heads around and try to get into in the coming week. So I'll have some pending orders. That one's going to be a slow mover, so that'll just be kind of a pending order. Basically, pending orders are kind of the slow mover trades, and so we want to try to get as many of those as we can. But Euro dollar. Euro dollar. What did I even recommend on the euro dollar this week? Oh yeah, so euro dollar. We're watching this channel, right? These being some of our lower targets we're aiming for. This potentially being the top of a right shoulder pattern. And what did we get on this euro dollar? It gave us a little break. It's been a little less cooperative than some. It did break out, and broke out about that 1850. We had that low about 1800. So not a big move. This big run back up, this big wild crazy run back up into that high. Lower targets remain untested, but we're definitely looking to see if this is going to be, well, if it's going to be this, which is this big head and shoulders pattern. So let me get those guys out of the way here just a little bit. So we've had some, some rising and falling wedges and a whole bunch of different things, and all right, guys, there we go. But this still looks like a really, really great head and shoulders pattern, and I want to trade this head and shoulders pattern. As far as kind of the trend lines and the movements have gone that this is stuck with, it's made a nice breakout. It's hopefully coming back for a retest here. Remember, every good head and shoulders pattern starts with a wedge of some sort, and the euro dollar is no exception there. So we've had that little consolidation. We've had this rising wedge that it has, kind of started and broke out. Then it broke our larger trend line, and so now it's creating a very nice, clean head and shoulders pattern that is not confirmed yet. So definitely has not confirmed yet. We're still kind of waiting for that confirmation to know if this is really going to be what we think it's going to be. But that perfect little, come on now, that perfect little test of support right there. That support's right at just about 116.75 or so. That's our neckline. So that's a beautiful little neckline right there. If we get below that thing, this could be huge. Now remember, we can, there's symmetry, and then there's just good old, head and shoulders measurement, which is head to neckline, neckline out. So if this plays out, we could be looking at moves as low as 11300, 11250, somewhere in that general vicinity. So a lot of potential profits on this one. How are we going to trade the euro dollar is the question. And the answer is we're going to be patient. We're going to watch and wait and see how this thing plays out. These are great targets. 117.45, 117.15, 11700 are great targets. And we just need to look for a setup. We just need to look for, this could be a nice little double top. We've seen some strong push here. It's probably going to continue a bit higher. We're just going to look for some opportunities to, to start trading that thing down. And it might need to get just a hair higher before we can start getting that entry short. I don't really want to take an entry long on euro dollar right now. It might turn out to be something good, and I could change my mind. I'm not dead set on this, but I don't want to get long yet. I want to see if we can get down to some of these targets first before kind of exploring the upside potential, the long potential on there. So euro dollar is still good, but let's wait for it just a little bit. Let's just give it a little bit of a chance. But so it was good for a couple of pips this week. If anybody got into that, to that breakout, that move down that we recommended. But the bigger picture is still trying to, confirm. So I like being short, in this 118.50 to 11900 area, but I'm not going to recommend that to you guys yet. I'm saying I like that idea, but I'm not gonna go with that recommendation yet. I want to just kind of, there's no rush on this thing. There's a lot of pips to aim for when it starts to turn and head down. So as that turns, as that starts to head down, then we'll start to look for those recommendations to get short and trade this puppy down. Mike, I'm already short. All right, excellent, excellent. Yeah, I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's group worthy yet, but Mike, if you're in it and anyone else in it, yeah, I don't think it's a bad setup to be short now. But I do like the short side. So let's see how that euro dollar does. Okay, so we've got some good levels we're looking for there. Euro dollar was one. Pound pairs went all over the place. They went crazy and nuts. So 12900 was our area we were watching. We talked about that. Pound yen, dollar Swiss. Dollar Swiss has kind of been all over the place. Some of the last recommendations were as follows. Euro pound. This was one of the last recommendations of the week. This was Euro pound right now. Um, yeah, Mike. No worries. Yeah, there is a little bit of market noise this week. That's for sure. That is for sure. Or this morning. So this was a Euro pound recommendation, right? And this was this guy right. Hold on. There we go. I keep thinking something messed up on my screen here, and there we go. This was a recommendation. And as I put in here, just trade the break or trade the pullback to the daily pivot, and whichever one kind of happens here. So euro soft, the pound is pretty strong. I like the setup. So shorting at the daily pivot. Pullback is okay, or just waiting for the breakout lower. Either way, it should be some nice, good, quick pips. What happened on this euro pound? Well, it didn't give us much pullback at all, really. And then it just ended up breaking. And this, by the way, was a target that I was looking for, which was not a huge one, but just kind of this guy to start the party off. 88.80 area from a break of 90, 90, 10, 90, 15. Just kind of grabbing a quick 30 pips. Now 30 pips on the euro pound is like 60 pips on anything else. Or 50 pips on anything else. So nice quick little run, nothing too extravagant, just a quick little push. Now, what's the big picture on this euro pound? Probably we're going to possibly see some more craziness here, but I want to see how it behaves here. So this was our level we had watched. This is a pretty strong support plus a pretty high probability target. And it hit that, and it bounced off that. And so now we're going to be looking probably more for some consolidation below the trend line. Let's see if this trend line can hold. And then I want to see if we can, start to take out lows and run into this area and start looking for a push into about 87.50. So looking again for about another 100 pips. Now, 100 pips on the euro pound is not nothing. So another 100 pips into these lows is a great profit potential. So I'm going to be watching for that. I don't have any major upper targets I'm super interested in at the moment. There could be some, and I'll let you know, as we look a little bit further. But for the moment, I'm just kind of still watching that low and looking for, a bigger, more official double bottom on euro pound. So, but it was a quick little push, and it worked out okay. What else do we have last night? Pound Swiss, yeah, the pound Swiss was that head and shoulders pattern, and it kind of just we talked about this already, but kind of just made that little push there. Gave us a 50 pip run, hit 130, and is kind of just chopping around and pulling back. Make no mistake about the fact that I'm still absolutely interested in pound Swiss at 126. I want to take pound Swiss to 126. But we had this big run and this big spike yesterday morning. I think it was yesterday morning. Um, it was the reaction we were looking for off 129. We said this is bouncing and breaking, and it ran down 100 pips in a real quick hurry. And as I mentioned, a couple people were asking about it in the chat. Where's a good entry point if I missed it? And I talked about at least getting it back into 128. 50, 60, 70, and it gave us all of that pullback and then some. And it made its way. This was kind of our invalidation point. Anything above 129 was the other direction. So it did push up in the other direction. But overall, the big picture is still absolutely trading in the 126. So this might just be giving us a better opportunity to trade this thing lower. And so I'm going to be ready for that. But we do see some good pound strength right now, so this could lead us into a double top or something along those lines. Whatever the pattern potentially is going to be, I don't really care. I'm just interested in the first moment I get some confirmation to trade this one direction or another. We don't really have much right this moment, but we will, and we'll be ready for it. I'll post those charts and those details for everybody. Um, what about, let's see, questions, guys? Questions about anything? Comments about anything? So I have to kind of apologize for this one a little bit. I said this is an afterthought on the pound dollar. I'm already long in this pair, and the only reason I didn't tell you guys about this is for the exact reason that I wrote, which I didn't not tell you about it. I just waited a little bit, I guess. Um, I like the trade, but I don't love the entry, so that's why I didn't post it. But at the time, so I was already long in the pair at 132.65, and I posted the chart, and it was at one. Where was it? Wasn't too far. It was at 132.77. So I was a whole 12 pips earlier. I had been in it actually for a couple of hours. I was just kind of watching it. So I liked the move up into that target. That was a really important target to move towards. Um, but I just was having a little trouble making this an official recommendation. Oh, we're back. Um, Having a little trouble making this official recommendation because it was such a messy entry. That was definitely not a good entry, which is why I didn't really want to post it. But I thought I'd let you guys know that I was in it, and it was choppy. And in the middle of the night, about 2 o'clock in the morning, I looked at it and I said, I'm up 40 pips, I'm up 50 pips, I'm out. I'm just going to take my profit. So I got out. I just closed the trade with about 40. Let me just see here, just out of curiosity, I think it was because I'm only curious about looking at this trade because I did it completely in my sleep. I exited totally in my sleep here. So my exit was 133.12. So yeah, so I was right on that little tip there. Pulled back a little bit. It's obviously higher than 133.12, but it was a nice little trade. So wasn't too sad about that, but still kind of a ugly entry. But very much looking for this to go to that target, which is what I mentioned. 133.45 was the target here to look for. Move into 133.45. And it's well on its way. As far as further longer term pound dollar movement, still we have to kind of be aware of the fact that this pair could head into this 136.50, 13800 before it really starts to come down, and that could be the truth. So I do want to be trading pound dollar. I do like this setup. And I don't typically like the pound dollar, but I like the setup. So that's all I need to do to get into a trade is like a setup. And so this is a great target to aim for, a great area to look for. I just want a cleaner entry. Again, that entry I took last night and yesterday was total garbage, but it's worked out. It's worked out. So whatever. I guess money talks. But as far as getting you guys really into a good clean setup, I think we can find something a little bit better to do. So far, this is kind of making this push and this pullback. Um, I mean, I don't know what I want to see kind of happen next year. If this kind of gives us maybe a little pullback here and that holds and it can break above that high, somewhere along those lines, that might be a break of 133.50 could be a good area to get into. A pullback into 132.25.30 could be a good area. I don't know, and I'm going to keep an eye on this, and I'll get you guys some good recommendations as soon as it's a little more clear what to do. But we don't have to have the answers right now. We just have to know that it's on the watch list, and as soon as it gives us something that is reasonable to work with, we can really jump on this thing and go for it. So that being the case, that's what we got. That's what we got. Frank, what's up, Frank? Please cover dollar Swiss when you get a chance. I think I missed it. If not, yeah, no, I will happily. I don't think I've talked about the dollar Swiss. And I did discuss the dollar Swiss as kind of something I was watching this week. So yeah, Frank, happy to talk about dollar Swiss. Yeah, this is what I wanted to see happen: some breakouts and some movements higher. But I talked about that 97.70. I talked about this in the video a couple of times this week. Kind of getting that move above 97.70, and we definitely saw some serious dollar weakness today, and that has pushed this pair lower. The dollar Swiss has done a very interesting job in being very efficient and clean on this movement. It's been super efficient, super clean, and that makes it kind of tricky to trade, honestly, because it's the inefficiencies that we want to look for, the little left areas that remain untouched and all of that. We have maybe this nice big spike in this little area. We could see the dollar Swiss make its way all the way back down into 96.30. That's totally a possibility. That's a monthly pivot. That's kind of a spiky level. So we could see that. I'm not. I'm definitely not against that as a possibility. 96.30 area. But we could also see that it just kind of holds on to these areas and continues making this push higher. It has had a heck of a time above this area. We've got a pretty big bearish engulfing candle right here, but I'm kind of watching just that 96.30 area and seeing if there's going to be some possibilities of just a little bit of a dip there. It's a ways away, I mean, it's almost 100 pips away, 80 pips away, but I still want to trade dollar Swiss higher. I want to trade dollar Swiss into parity at the least, and we're going to get there. We're going to get to parity. So there's not really much of an entry right now, but 96.30 could be really, really good. And then that's a couple of hundred good pips we can sit on. It's a slow mover. We don't want to trade dollar Swiss any more than we have to, but I think that's a really great area to watch and get a nice little entry out of. So I was watching that trend line. It definitely it gave us a break. It gave us a push, and then it just couldn't get above that 97.70 for that next time. And then, the news today has obviously dropped it down quite a bit. So, Frank, do you have a position on this one, or Dennis 60 pips this morning on pound dollar? Good, man, I love it. Good work. That's really really excellent. I love that you guys have made some good profits this week because it's been a very good week. It's been a very very good week. So good work on making some dollar bills on all that stuff. Yeah, great. So Frank, yeah, I mean, if there's anything specific you want to, ask about the dollar Swiss, I'm happy to answer it. But that's kind of my take for the moment. So if I'm in at the very small loss break even, do we close and look for better entry? Yeah, if you're, here's the thing that I do. I don't, I, if you're if you're right around the break even area, I would say possibly close that thing out. If you're 2 or 3 pips down, maybe give it a little while, maybe give it a few minutes, a half hour or something. See if you can get it, 5 pips in profit. I would definitely look for, because we're kind of right in the middle of stuff. Anything in the middle here is going to be tricky. So middle there is going to be tricky. What we're looking for is we want to see this thing above 97.70, or we want to see this thing retesting 96.30, 96.50, give or take a couple of pips. So we're just right in the middle right now, and just kind of anything could happen. So if you're at break even or even down 2 or 3 or 4 pips or 5 pips or something, I would consider closing it and focusing on these two areas as opposed to scaling and so on. We know that the dollar Swiss can really drag us out on the scaling stuff, which is fine. But I would, yeah, I'd focus on those two areas for sure. So, yep, good guys, good stuff. So overall, everybody had a good week. Anyone have a horrible week? If you did, I don't know if I want to hear about it. No, I'm just kidding. I do. We're here to be honest and to say it all. Um, I hope everybody had a great week. I hope that it is it's a profitable trading week for you. One thing I do have to say, this doesn't necessarily affect you guys too much, but we're going to be doing some interesting stuff in the trade group, and so I am closing the trade group to the general public probably next week, and we're not going to be taking any new people on the regular. We'll take new people on maybe once or twice a year, but I'm closing the trade group to the public next week. And so I'm glad you guys are in here with us. Happy to have you guys here. And like I said, we'll take new people, once or twice or maybe 3 times a year, in just little chunks. I'll open the trade group for 3 or 4 days, a couple times a year. But what I want to make sure of is that everybody that's in the trade group 100% understands what we're doing, is perfectly trained in the way of making pips. Do you guys realize the type of success stories that we have in here? I obviously am a full-time trader and have been one for 15 years or whatever, and that's been fantastic and that's been super awesome. But we have some really great success stories in the trade group of people that have many times. I have traders that are well into their 70s that are making on small trading accounts are making a couple of $1,000s a month on really small trading accounts, which represents a super high percentage of the size of that account. We have traders in here that have taken very small amounts of money and turned them into very large amounts of money, like a few $1,000s into a few $100,000 and a few $100 into tens of thousands of dollars. So this is a really special trade group with some very, very talented people, and I want to make sure we foster that, and I want to make sure that we all appreciate that and that we know what we have here. And so, like I said, um, just kind of lock it down and make sure that that the trade group gets as much attention and as much of everything as it needs, and gives me time to really pump out more course material to make sure that we're totally trained in the way of just consistently making money. So yeah, like I said, it'll probably starting Monday. The sign up page will be no longer. It'll be non-existent. So I'm going to send an email out to everyone and let everybody know about that. But I'm glad to have you guys in here with us. I'm glad you're here. Trade group is at the Telegram chat. That's the only thing I know that is open to the public. So the Telegram chat's good question, Aaron. The trade group is what we're doing right here, right now. It's in the webinar. It is those people that receive this. This is the trade group as well. DTFX trade, or excuse me, DayTraders FX alerts. That's trade group stuff. The chat is just what everybody talks about, and I don't really post specific entries in here. I talk about what we're looking at, answer some questions. We all do a little bit of chatting, but I don't post any specific trade alerts or anything in the DayTraders FX chat. Only in the alerts, and then members of the website here get access and can receive emails, and then and members can attend the live webinars as well. So yeah, the little chat area that's public, I don't post any recommendations in there. But in the private area, the DayTraders FX alerts is where all the recommendations come through and all the charts and all the everything. And that's only for members. So thanks, Ron. Nice to see you. Have a wonderful weekend as well. Very nice to have you with us. Good stuff, guys. Okay, any questions? Anything to add or take away or discuss before we finalize everything? We've got some great setups to watch for. I'm super excited about the trades. I hope everybody is able to see the videos and get all the material that we're covering. I post a video every morning, U.S. morning that is. So just right around the U.S. Open, I post a video just after the U.S. Open and charts. And then trade alerts, throughout the day. So I hope you guys are all able to, get a little piece of that. Um, and Yes, Dennis, that's a good question. Very hopefully the trade course. Most of you guys know about the ignition course that I have been working on tirelessly for weeks and weeks. It's just about done. It's just about done. I chatted with Dennis about this earlier this week. Dennis and I are doing a couple of one-on-one sessions, and we chatted about it. And I said, I'm just about done, and I'm having a really hard time not scrapping it and starting over, which I've actually done about 3 times already. So I'm not going to do it this time. I'm going to follow through. What we're doing with the trade course, by the way, is it's kind of all of the methodology that we use in the group. It's going to be everything that we do here. This is going to be, for people that come on and say, okay, how is it that you're trading? What are you doing? So it's going to be a bit of that. Well, it's going to be a lot of that. It's also going to be a lot of the lessons that I've learned from training people over the last 15 years and trading over the last 15 years. So it's going to be that, along with just every other good thing I can put in there. So some very specific, excellent trade recommendations and how I come up with these recommendations. Stuff that we just can't cover in the group. So that is in the works and it's almost finished. And so it's going to be a lot of great course material. And then we're going to have 4 live webinars that go with that. So 4 live sessions to really kind of just pound it out and go through all the details and make sure that everyone's good on everything. So it's going to be really good. I'm super excited about it. I hope it's as excellent as I want it to be. I think it will be. And it's something that I hope will stand the test of time and really be a long-term asset to you guys for educational material. So looking forward to that. It should be done very, very soon in the next few days, and I will get that out to you guys. So it's going to be awesome. Yes, that's right, Dennis. I know it. I know it. I got to keep that in mind too. I'm such a perfectionist when it comes to this stuff. And my wife the other day said, "When are you coming home?" And I said, "I'm just working on the trade course." And she said, "Let me guess, you're re-recording some material." And I said, "Yes, I'm re-recording some material. Darn it." Um, but I know it. I know it. I gotta try to understand that good enough is sometimes good enough. But we're gonna have a lot of good follow-up material with it, so I think it'll be great. So it's coming, guys. Couple of days. Otherwise, hopefully, you guys have some good plans this weekend. Anyone do anything exciting? Let me know. Let me know. I'm gonna be. I have a Moana. I don't know if you guys saw Moana, but we'll have a Moana birthday party with Stella and Hendrix and friends on the beach Saturday. So that's going to be my weekend. Should be exciting. But hopefully, you guys have a good weekend coming up. Looking forward to some good stuff. So another great week. I'm hundreds of pips in the positive this week, and not sad about that at all. The recommendations have worked very well, and we'll have more of those coming out next week, and hopefully more of them will work. So thanks, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend. Nice to see you all. Thanks for being on. We'll catch you back here on Monday. Monday. Thanks, guys. Richard, yep, sounds. Hey, nice to see you, Richard. Yeah. Well, that sounds great. Sounds great, Richard. Chat with you next week. Chat with you all on Monday. Take care, guys. We'll see you all.